and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Children of Éarte. We're so excited to have you with us for this very momentous, bittersweet moment here. This is our 76th and final chapter of Children of Éarte. We just want to thank every single one of you for being here with us through the whole thing. I want to thank all of you here on Demiplane, Adam, Hope, Josh, Alicia, Lauren, Jen, just my heart. I adore you all. This has been such a great adventure in and of itself. So, Adam, will you start again by please telling us about our sponsors this evening?
Let's pull this back one more time. So, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, thank you for your support throughout the entire series. It has been wonderful to have you for this ride. It is an awesome game that you should check out. If you love this D&D thing, if you love video games, it is the place for you. Several of us have characters that we have played in other places that are in that video game. So check out Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, and you can grab a code on the overlay or bouncing around in chat for an Electrum chest code. We also have Die Hard Dice, who has gifted our cast with, and I'm going off list this time. And I'm just going to say they have gifted our cast with these dice. And dice are such a simple thing that end up meaning so much, that lead to so many fun times, so many, sometimes sad times, so many happy times. And dice, in one way or another, have changed all of our lives. And it's kind of dramatic to say that, but it is absolutely true. And so if you are looking for some great dice, you can grab those at Die Hard Dice. You can use the code Éarte to get 10% off your order, or you can possibly win a $20 promotional code with the instructions in chat. So pay attention to that. And then finally, tonight, you'll hear the dulcet tones of Sirenscape, because epic games need epic sound. And I am Adam Bradford, CDO at Demiplane, and tonight, for one more time, I am playing Silas Sorrell, your dimensionally displaced magical super.
Oh my gosh, maybe it was the last time I'm saying this. Hi everybody, I'm Alicia Marie. You can find me everywhere on socials at Alicia Marie Body. Tonight, I'll be playing Fairuza Armstrong, Storm Goddess.
Hello, go.
At law, Storm Goddess at law.
Esquire.
Yeah.
Hello, I am Jen Kretchmer. You can find me on the interwebs as @DreamWisp. I am playing your friendly neighborhood troublemaker, Maeve Morgan Flynn.
Hi, I'm Lauren Urban. I'm the content manager over at Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. You can find me at my website, lauren-urban.com, where I do oboe things and TTRPG things, like tonight, where for the final time I'm playing Carolyn Nebula Stern, who is happy to have a second family.
And hi everyone, I'm Hope LaVelle. You can follow me on the socials at the Hope LaVelle. And tonight, for her final adventure, I'll be playing your favorite granny for hire, Robin Beckett. You're muted, Adam.
Well, we got one more of this. Before you jump in, Deborah, I wanted to say Josh should have prepped this before, but I wanted to get one of those little family photo thing going on. So we're all going to smile for the camera if you can get ready for a screenshot. Josh, are you good to go there? 3 seconds, he said.
Yay!
Josh, really appreciate all the help. All right, here we go. All right, we're good. Go ahead, Deb.
And I am
gosh.
Deborah Ann Woll. I am your storyteller for this evening. As per usual, thank you for being here. Grab yourself something warm to drink, get cozy as we settle in for our 76th and final chapter of Children of Éarte. Now, for a story that has largely surrounded around fairy tales and the stories that we tell about our world and becoming fantasy to help us understand them, we're going to start this episode with another story. So long ago, before matter existed, there was the Ancient One. It was a simple cluster of energy. And as time began, it grew restless, banging itself against itself and its confines until it grew hot and dense. And once that pressure was too much, it exploded, giving birth to first dark and then light. And the energy from this light created elements. And these elements were drawn to one another, and they created rock and water and fire and air. And they ruled nature, which gave birth to life. The Ancient One warned that each of these must be kept in balance, each a pillar supporting the kingdom of life, Éarte. If even one pillar were to falter, that kingdom would fall, leading to destruction and ruin. Now, for time, immeasurable balance was achieved, but then something began to change. Éarte began to draw on these elements faster than the rulers could maintain, and the effects were felt throughout the realms. The rulers became impatient and angry, resentful of Éarte and its greed, and they fought back, sending destructive forces to try and stem the tide. Finally, they took matters into their own hands and sought control of Éarte for themselves. But by now, there was no harmony, no balanced pillars, and the kingdom had fallen, and the rulers begun to fight for domination of Éarte. The rest of this story is yet to be written. Welcome to the final episode of Children of Éarte. You've made your way through the battlefield. Zola has helped you across this final expanse, sending you at the edge of a drawbridge across an acid river beneath this volcano that rises up in front of you. Beyond the portcullis, you can see your loved ones, hands clasped, eyes closed, muttering, obviously holding some kind of warding protection energy around this place, trying to keep the others out. As Zola lets you down, you begin to hear another noise come above the crackle of the fire and see a bunch of familiar energy enter this space. As down at the far end of this battlefield, a whirlwind you know as Florus appears, clearing the air. From the other side, again at the far end, steps Ivy. The other rulers have arrived. Zola looks to you, and in her tongue, which some of you now understand and can translate, she says, "Don't worry about Florus. I'll go take care of her." And turns and begins to stride across the battlefield, just whacking anything that attacks her out of her way as she heads over towards Florus. So you have limited time as Ivy and Florus make their way down the battlefield. What would you like to do?
Looking at our loved ones, can we tell if we rush forward to go say hi, is that going to be disastrous? Because I don't know about everybody else, but Neb is like itching to go and talk to her great grandfather, but also is recognizing in this point there's something that they're doing that might be really important.
As Neb is being very responsible about this, Silas has already reached out telepathically trying to talk to his pops. And so, like, I don't know if he gets his attention or not, but he is absolutely doing that as soon as he sees him.
Character growth. Silas is the one rushing forward while Neb is the one taking the moment. Look at that.
Neb, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
Silas, you get some access to his thoughts, and you can hear him sort of go, huh? Like recognize that your presence is there, but you just get a constant kind of, muttering, protect the man. Kind of, there is a spell that is he has to maintain in the top of his mind.
And then I'm just going to message, how can we help?
Okay. What was your Arcana?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So yes, they seem to be concentrating on something very important. What you get is that, yes, if they stop chanting this, holding hands, focusing, whatever protection that they have going will fall. Now, looking around, Zola has cleared a pretty good swath for you, and there is a drawbridge and an acid moat that is currently not being utilized for defense.
And so I assume we still have the telepathic bond up?
Mhm.
Okay. They're protecting something, and they got to concentrate on it real hard. But we might have a moment. Do we want to get inside and see if we can talk to them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's move forward. We can talk
Okay.
to them later.
So as you approach this portcullis that is very clearly have a crank on the other side and is closed, there is no way through at this moment. You would have to open.
I'm going to try to telekinetically crank it.
Fantastic. It starts to, jerkily move up one by one as you're able to then duck underneath it and potentially let it fall back into place. There you see these people that you know so well, but it's been so long since you have seen them, some of whom you thought were gone forever, standing there, focused. Every single one of them now you can see a smile of joy and relief and exhaustion begin to come across their faces as they see that portcullis drop and finally hit with you safely inside. They let go of their hands and each turn to look at you. Priscilla, the storm giant towering over the rest, looks over at you, Fairuza, and says, "Glad you could make it, kid. Took you long enough." As the others, each of them sort of turn to you. Now, depending on your actions, you can see that every single one of them would love to rush towards you. However, Priscilla, after that statement, runs up the tower, and you can see slowly the drawbridge is starting to be raised, offering that little bit of extra security.
Okay, so we should follow them now. If they're all going up there, I mean,
no, just Priscilla went up to close the drawbridge. The others stayed down and are looking at you.
Maeve runs up to Will and goes, "This was your idea, Vivification."
Why did you
honestly?
He smiles a little bit, and sort of shrugs his shoulders.
He headbutts.
He takes it sort of
Not too hard because it would hurt a lot.
Yeah,
she could do a lot of damage, but
stumbles back and kind of goes, "It was just an invitation. You could always say no. You could always turn it down.
Yes, you could.
I had a feeling you wouldn't, though."
And then she just grabs him.
He takes him a second to kind of realize this dream of what he's wanted for so long was this reconciliation, this moment, and his arms just wrap around you doubly, holding you close, so much so that your feet probably rise off the ground a little bit.
And Neb has walked very slowly forward towards the figure that seems to be her great-grandfather.
Yes.
And it's obvious when she gets close enough that she really does want to do the same thing. She just wants to hug him. But as she's looking, and she's still in her nebulous form, and she kind of reaches out very slowly and says, Are you really there?
It's almost as if his voice is an echo, but without the first call, just the response. And he says, "In spirit." And
it's all that matters.
He reaches out as well, and you can't actually touch one another. He slides right through your physical form, but you feel that little warmth, that little energy, electricity of your atoms, your matter, banging against each other somehow through dimension and time. You recognize one another.
I've missed you so much.
He looks towards you. He says, "I've missed you too. Seems like you've collected quite a few stories in the last few weeks."
I'm going to use everything you taught me to tell them all to you once we do whatever it is we have to do to make this a happy ending.
I can't wait. Then there's Priscilla, Harold, and Pops.
I think Robin kind of straightens her overalls and her hat and just kind of stands up as straight as she can, even though she's a little more hunched now, and kind of just strides over and says, "Well, hey, good looking. What you got cooking?"
Ah, stop. Oh, God.
He looks down at you and goes, "Pea soup." And as he does, it's just these, his whole internal is kind of fluttering. You can see him, but he's like, like when people do those card tricks and it just sort of flutters back and forth. He just sort of doesn't seem to stay in one place. He sort of shimmers right and left. He sort of looks, he goes, "I love you. I'm so glad you found a family."
I love you too, my little piece of home.
He flutters back over towards you to get closer to you, and you can feel, again, he's not corporeal, but you can feel the wind of that flutter, just something sort of rush across you, and it brings you right back to the day you met him. You flash on your first kiss, you flash on your first day living together, you flash on your first trip together, all of these moments throughout your life that just come crashing home.
Silas is going to float forward, and
Pops is also floating.
yeah, and Silas doesn't necessarily know he's the only one that sees him.
Yeah.
And so he's just kind of like, oh, so do that too, huh?
He looks at you, goes, "Like a real life superhero."
Yeah, that's right. Like, well, I mean, could you do that before you were like, dead in spirit form, or is that like just after you died? Or
Yeah, kind of a new thing.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Hey, want to see something funny?
Yeah.
He plugs one nose and blows out, and he uses the air to go like a somersault backward.
Gross.
And Silas is going, yeah, I can try, and Silas does like something similar, and
so none of the rest of you see or hear any of this.
Yeah,
this
and
just Silas.
We're all distracted. It's fine.
And then Silas finally says, I genuinely have no idea if it's like the same one or not, or maybe it's been 1,000 foxes over the years, but I caught a fox, and like then you see Star Fox like hop up on Silas's shoulder and kind of floats over to greet Pops as well, and then Silas almost immediately turns to to where Pops is there, and he says, I have no idea what's about to happen here. I'm sure it's going to be really, really dangerous. This entire thing has been incredibly dangerous. I cannot believe that y'all brought us here. But I guess at the end of it, I'm glad you did, because I do think that, just like always, you help me understand what really matters. So I appreciate that.
He looks to you and he goes, I know you love reading about heroes. Figured it was time you got to be one.
Oh, you're right on, Pop. Let's do it.
Fairuza, Priscilla comes down after having raised the drawbridge. She looks light years different than what you remember, but it's that vision you had from that dream that that you had experienced, and to see her in the flesh now when she stands in front of you.
She's gonna she's never been like a huggy, touchy, feely person, but she's just gonna walk up to Miss Priscilla and nod at her, and I guess that Miss Priscilla is just gonna grab her in this big hug, and at first she just can't believe, like, first of all, how different, even though she's seen what Miss Priscilla really looks like, she's seen it in her dream. She can't believe this is really who she is, and that this is who's been looking out for her all this time. And she's gonna step back, and she's like, am I supposed to go somewhere now, Miss Priscilla?
She sort of pats you on the head as no one else can, and sort of says, "Your destiny lies elsewhere, but first we have work to complete here."
There's more? I mean, there's more we have to do?
She says, well, more for you. But I promise you're more than up to the challenge.
I think I'm ready. Mhm. Thank you for helping me realize who I am.
She's,
I think I finally know.
she takes that in. She says, it was always there. You just need a little push to embrace it.
Well, this whole trip has been a push and a half. It's been about 2 weeks of a push, and I get the sense we're in the final stretch. But I'll. Hi, everybody. What are we doing next?
So they all sort of look to you and they
Whoa.
say, you know, we've been holding off the forces as long as we can. At this point, you know, we can try to get the ward coming up, but if Florus or Ivy makes it here, there's very little we can do once they are at the door. Through that way, and they point towards a set of double doors that lead into the center of this volcano. So that is where Tall Run's throne is. There are guardians, protecting it that are far above our capabilities. But I know, with all of us combined, we could get through there. We must stop Ivy or Florus from taking that throne, and the only way to do that is for one of us to accept the responsibility of ruler of Praxidiki.
Let's get to that throne.
Well, maybe we can just rest for a bit first. It was quite a run through lots and lots
They
of
look at their metaphorical,
here.
their figurative watches.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. When I was in the military, I learned how to sleep fast. Okay, Maeve, just anyone who needs a quick nap, let me tell you how to do it. And you just relax your body and you relax the muscles in your eyes and you take a deep breath and everyone just close your eyes. And as Robin says all this, you all start to feel really relaxed as she casts Catnap. And she's gonna, I believe, choose
Biphasic sleep.
3. I think who needs it? Maeve, and
I can always
it's gonna
use-
be. I think it's gonna be Maeve because I can only do 3. It's gonna Maeve, me, and Neb.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get the benefits of
Yeah.
a short rest within 10 minutes.
Okay.
And
Oh
then
wow. So yeah.
Silas, as that's going on, he's like just muttering under his breath, and he's talking to his pops, and he's like, "She was in the military? Like, I mean, like I don't even understand. Like, she's only lived like 80 years. Like, I mean, she's had such a full life. Like, all you did was sit out there in those woods."
Excuse you, young man. I thought
You're
you had
not
more
such a
sense
slouch
after the last
yourself.
2 weeks.
Oh boy.
Yes, 10 minutes. Get your hit dice, get back any of your features that you would like back in that time, the 3 of you.
Yeah.
For the other 10 minutes, your loved ones are sort of anxiously watching out there, checking to see, are they getting closer? And absolutely, Florus and Ivy have made their way halfway down through this battlefield. Zola is fighting as hard as she can. You do notice she is trying to talk to them both while they are exchanging blows. But Zola's on her own. She's not looking too good as she's just trying to sort of focus her attention and get them on her side. But they are making their way down.
As Neb stands back up once again, not kind of in her whatever her normal form is now, which is some amalgamation of a creature, but she's happy with it. So she stands up and she looks. That's Ivy. Julian, we should go talk to her, right?
He sees her coming. He goes, "Oh, you want me to go back out there, or?"
No, that is a terrible idea. Do not go out there. We have got to clear this throne room. Like, we have to make sure that we have the leverage of the throne in place and that we control things in there. Because otherwise, like, the only thing Ivy is going to do is just try to go.
Well, so is this going to be like a race to the throne, and whoever sits in it first suddenly is?
I have no idea.
musical
Like,
chairs.
this is a weird fairy tale land. Like, all that kind of stuff happens all the time.
Well, so who are we going to try and send to it? Because if that's the case, we should know that.
Miss Robin. It should be Miss Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Robin, like I don't know what your plans for the future of your destiny in life are, but like honestly, like you would be a very just and fair ruler. Like you should absolutely just be.
Mhm.
Who
Me?
better? Yeah, who better to be the person in charge than someone who has done everything?
But there's still so much more to do, isn't there?
Rulers
Well,
get
it's
to
a
do
question of whether
things.
you want to or not.
Yeah. And think about it. You have one more thing to add to your resume.
Back
Did
when
I
That
ever
was a
tell you
ruler
that
of
was time I was
Wallace.
the ruler of the Fire Kingdom?
You know, Harold sort of stands next to you. He says, you know, I couldn't pass on because I knew I had left you alone. Now I know you're not alone. You have found these other people to be part of your life. I feel as soon as this is done, I could pass on if that were your desire and you wanted to come with me. However, I think you would make a terrific ruler of Praxidiki, and I would be honored to sit by your side.
Robin thinks for a second, looking into Harold's eyes, and she says, well, maybe it is time for old Robin Beckett to retire.
This is your idea of retirement.
Rule a country or two.
I take over an entire realm.
To pass on or to rule Praxidiki?
To sit in that throne and
Yeah, there's just a lot of sitting, just like retirement. You just sit in a throne.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's all.
Look
it
at
is.
those rulers out there
I get a whole
sitting.
robe of death sitting.
I've always wanted to pick up bird watching. I suppose I could do that here.
As you say that, a pterodactyl flies over the top of the volcano.
Frederick? Just
It has an enormous salamander that's on fire in its mouth as you and Harold start to take in this land that you could potentially inherit. He sort of shrugs and he says, you know, I think it's what you make of it.
Robin will look at Harold one more time and say, if you could be by my side, then I will run to that throne in a heartbeat.
He looks at you and goes, red light, green light.
And
Go.
Robin takes off.
All right, you and Harold are running ahead of the other set. You just keeping up with one another, just like kids again. As you reach those two double doors, they open for you as you come. Some sort of a sensor that just opens towards you, opening into a vast cavern inside this volcano. Far in the distance, you know, there's quite a bit of land at the front here, just rocks full of puddles of lava and burning earth. Beyond that is a pool of lava, and you can see off floating above that pool of lava is a bed of coals, and it is quite clearly has the impression of a bowl in it. As you enter, you immediately feel the oppressive heat and the whole ground shakes as a geyser of lava shoots up right in front of that bed of coals, kind of ejecting itself from the top of the mountain. And you can just see that this is a pretty tricky place.
Could use a makeover. Just saying.
Well, you were an interior designer, right?
I was.
And once you're in charge, something tells me that you can put up any wallpaper you want.
Or just burn it down and start all over again.
I fly up there and I'm looking for whatever these guardians are.
All right,
I'm kind of doing the same from the doorways.
Yeah, as soon as one of you passes the threshold, you know, through these doors into this main space, there's another rumble and another geyser of lava shoots up. And then rising out of the lava are three creatures just drenched in it. They look like statues. They don't look too different from Steve. There's a similar sort of shape to them. But as they rise, they stay lava, full of just fire and dripping of molten rock. As you do, they get into their readied pose, their little, NPC, I'm ready to go shuffle, and ready a ball of
I
lava
whisper to
to
Will
throw
and
at
I
ya.
say, don't try and hug him.
Please roll initiatives.
Okay. Yay, I'm using my diehard dice. Yay.
All right, let's start with Maeve.
21.
Maeve is a 21. And Neb.
3.
3 for Neb. And Fairuza.
20.
Woo, Fairuza. And Silas.
8.
8 for Silas. Gotta love it. The last thing here. Okay, and Robin.
10.
10 for Robin. Okay, I have Julie and Ivy there. Okay, great. Maeve, you are up first. As soon as Silas crosses that threshold and these creatures rise up out and begin to get ready to fight, what would you like to do?
I would immediately like to turn to the first one, and I will move my having it on my list onto it as a bonus action, and then I will say, all right, let's dance. And I'm going to try and pull it. I'm going to move up over sort of near it and sort of draw it toward me.
Okay.
I need it to please make an opposed check.
Is it wisdom?
No, it's insight.
Insight. Yes, basically.
Is
19.
how
26.
large are these things?
How large are they?
Yeah.
They're like 10 feet tall.
Okay.
Yeah, they're big. Versus a 26. Yeah, it loses.
Okay, so it is going to be following me, and I will move to try and get it to chase me.
Okay, fantastic. Where are you moving in this vast space?
I don't want to go directly onto any hot coals that I can avoid, so sort of just a little bit away from the others.
Okay. I'm going to say, so this sort of the main level here, you're fine as long as you don't fall down in terms, like your shoes will do fine for you in terms of the heat. It is difficult terrain in the sense that there are pools. So you can walk 30 feet without any issues, but if you do start dashing, we might have some issues with some lava pools here and things like that. All right. Anything else, Maeve?
That's my move, my bonus, and my action. So I am.
All right. Fairuza. So Maeve has just sort of locked into this first lava golem creature here, and it's just sort of starting to get its attention. What would you like to do, Fairuza?
Okay. I kept like going back and forth because I'm not really. Actually, it's like I'm not certain, but also Fairuza, there's a little bit of hesitation.
Yeah.
She's not sure what to do in this moment, but maybe she'll try this anyway. Especially, okay, so Maeve, how you're not like 5 feet from that thing, are you?
I'm gonna say I'm like 15 feet. I'm getting it to chase me. But yeah, I'll remind
you all. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Over the group chat, I will let everyone know again not to attack or come out.
Yes, the internal brain group chat.
Thank you.
And just a reminder, you have your loved one NPCs with you. I forgot to tell the audience, I have sent them the stats for those NPCs so they can control them essentially as a little familiar kind of situation here. So yes, at the end of your turn, if you would like your NPC loved one to do something, you have your stats.
Okay.
So yes, Fairuza, go ahead.
Okay, so I want to do this, but I'm just not sure it's the right time because Fairuza cannot read the room. She starts to feel, it's not really rage, but it's more like this like feeling. First, okay, so let me ask you some more questions first.
Okay.
How high are the ceilings?
High, like
very
150, 200 feet. I mean, it's a cone, leading up. This is where when this, thing erupts for real, it's going to fill up with lava.
And from side to side, it's big too, right?
Yeah, I give it at least 100 feet.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Fairuza has this feeling inside of her. And it's not really like the familiar rage that she gets right before she's about to do something about whatever's making her rage. But it's definitely, she feels it inside of her. and her eyes start to change, like they're flashing, and she sort of looks at Miss Priscilla, and Miss Priscilla knows what's happening with her, and she's like, do it. So she wants to raise, she has her axe in her hand, like this,
Yes.
usual axe, and she's waiting
Yes.
for it, but she sits it, actually doesn't know, she sheathes it behind her. She's going to raise her hand above her head toward like centered above the three monster guests. And she's going to speak out in this language that even she doesn't understand because it's God's tongue. And she's calling lightning.
Not on the one that Maeve marked.
No.
That Maeve has chosen, but on this next one. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Do I make a save?
Oh, I don't. This is the thing. I've never really used this spell before.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give it a read. I want you to use all your new big sexy stuff.
Okay, these are like amazing. I don't know if I have this right, but how can this thing do 60-10 damage?
because it's an awesome.
How
awesome?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. God. Okay.
Because we are in an epic battle.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So I'm gonna jump to the top. Both line flashes down. Each. Oh, whoa. Okay. So it's a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw.
Of what?
Oh, it did not do well.
Yeah.
It did very, very poorly. You absolutely get it.
Oh my God. Crazy. Okay, so
lightning shoots down from the top of a volcano and just electrifies this lava golem.
This giant cloud just appears out of nowhere, and you're like, huh?
Roll your ridiculous amounts of d10s.
Oh my God, this is gonna be ridiculous. I love the sound of that though. So good. 39 points of damage. And to make things worse.
Yes, make it worse.
Because she has this thing called elimination, and it covers like all of her body. And when she casts that spell, you start seeing these markings appear like on the parts of her skin that are not covered by a Harvard lecture. Her arms, you see these like markings that appear in her face, and it's gonna be 1d3 extra damage. So let's roll it right now.
Okay.
She gets 5 more damage. No wait.
On a d3.
3. No,
onto
2.
3. 2. Okay, we got 2 there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big.
One is
okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So this thing kind of shakes for a minute. You notice that like it has a smell, kind of that like before a storm, kind of lightning burnt smell in the air before a tornado comes through, and you can see actually the slash where that lightning hit it. It's solidified just a little bit, like it's almost kind of hardened the lava a little bit with that shock. Anything else, Fairuza?
Well, just right at that moment, Fairuza is reminded that, of her own story with lightning. How she gets from lightning, and she's sort of like, I guess she must have called it on herself all that time ago, but this is something she was meant to have within her, and that realization is very powerful.
Amazing. At that moment, it is now the first golem, the one that is focused on Maeve to go. It is going to try. It just starts to, run up towards you. Boom, boom, boom. It takes like 3 steps to get the 15 feet towards you, and it's going to try to slam you twice.
There are 3 of me. And
that's right. There are still 3 of you.
Hey, Billy Boyles, watch this. And I'm going to turn it into Will. So there will now be 4 Wills running around.
The
just at
real
Will, because I can.
The real Will gives himself away immediately by going, oh my God. By just freaking the freak out. All right, I have a 12, which is probably going to miss, and I have a 23.
Yes. 23 will hit.
Okay, that's going to do 15 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, and I lose another.
So it boom, 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 runs up to the now 4 Wills standing there, and just one sidearm misses. The other one sweeps right through one of the duplicate Wills. Again, Will's like, oh, he just saw himself killed by a lava golem.
And I change back into me. Now they're to me, and I wink.
As he takes that on. All right, Julian is next. Julian kind of stays by the door and looks behind him as he starts to shout out to the rest of you, "She's coming." And you can see, if you were to glance, that the drawbridge and the portcullis are starting to get covered in ice and crack and break as she uses her magic to try to break through. It is now this other guy who's over here near Fairuza. You're going to get 2 slams.
Ooh.
Okay, that is an 18 and a natural 20.
Neither hit.
Neither hit? The natural 20 doesn't hit? I'm pretty sure that
A natural 20 is an auto hit, right?
It's not, I know.
But,
So that is going to be 30 bludgeoning damage as this creature reaches out and just one fist, boom, hits you right in the face. I mean, teeth come flying out of your mouth and, sort of crackle along the ground. But as the second fist comes up to try to uppercut you underneath, you just pull out of the way and it whiffs up in front of your face, just missing you there. All right, Robin, your turn.
Okay. Robin is going to kind of look at Harold, and we both kind of nod and like give a little wink. And Robin is going to do something she's never done before, and she's going to kind of smile, and then suddenly from her appears multiple heralds that spirit shroud around her.
Ah, nice.
Harold's
I
5
love
wills.
So
I love it.
Love it.
as a bonus action, I shall do that. And then I think Robin is going to that's a spell, so it's a fire. I can't do firebolt. Robin's gonna how far is she from? I need to 10 feet
From the bed of coals?
Yeah, from any of the golems. Like,
Okay.
is this room
So the
too big?
golems are probably, the room is big, again, probably 100 by 100 and then very, very tall. So, you've had to kind of move in and walk towards, they've come towards you. So, you're probably 30 to 50 feet away from these things still.
Okay, Robin's gonna take her movement 20 feet forward.
Okay. So
she's
you're right at
kind
30.
right close to that threshold, and
Gotcha.
then that'll be Robin's turn.
Okay.
Harold would like to go.
Harold's gonna go. I'm so excited.
Harold would like to pull this up so I get it right. Harold, when all of these other heralds appear, you actually see a duplicate of Harold coming from Harold, and he looks fully corporeal. It looks like a real Harold.
Oh my
And
god.
he appears just about to sit on the throne.
Oh my god. So off in the distance, you see suddenly appear into existence a real life looking Harold who just sort of smiles and winks and starts to squat. Fantastic. Anything else, Robin?
I'm just hoping that maybe inquires a couple op attacks if those golems start to try to protect the throne. So that's it.
Fantastic.
I thought
All
you meant an
right.
attack against Harold. I was going to say that's funny.
In that moment, as soon as Harold appears and sort of winks and starts to move, you hear another squawk as another pterodactyl now inside this space that had been hanging upside down in the rafters swoops in, making an attack on the Herald that is standing there. That is a 22 to hit Harold.
Yeah.
He, as this thing swoops through it, it just dissipates. That Herald completely disappears, but the pterodactyl, vulture, gargoyle creature sort of, surprised by the fact that it has nothing in its talons and its claws, kind of does another swoop and sort of lands again, holding itself up on the ceiling, triggered by that. That is its turn. Silas.
Silas is going to float up a little bit, and you see his eye just flares at this point, and it's almost like just this little kind of tinge of light starts to form around him, and you see this shimmery, almost predator in the jungle kind of shimmer to it's like there's just a bigger version of Silas now, where it used to be where he's moved, like his thoughts are moving faster than his body, but it's like but it's just telekinetic force that is just getting ringed with a little bit of light from his eye. And then Silas is as he has been like interacting with Pops at this stage, he understands that Pops is kind of like just force at this point in time, and he's like he's very used to this now. So he just says, "Hold on tight, Pops," and you see he kind of like pulls his hand back, and then he sends that forward, and Pops is basically his action is going to be a cantrip where he's like blasting into. Now there are 3 of the golem-like
three
creatures.
golem creatures. Yes, there's one that Maeve has chosen. I think you're supposed to not hit that one.
Right, and then is there any that hasn't been touched yet? There is one that
There's
so
one
it's
on
that one. It's that one that Silas is going to, and that attack roll was a 19.
That'll hit.
Okay, and so that is going to, and so quick question on that action, do I treat that just like the one action spell, or is it just one attack of that spell? There are 2 bolts that typically come with this spell. Do I get both of those, or just the one? Does that make sense what I'm asking?
No, it doesn't make sense.
Eldritch Blast. Normally get 2 bolts with one casting of Eldritch Blast. Yeah. Is that do I do the 2 bolts with
you can do
both?
Okay, absolutely.
All right. Okay. So then that next one was a dirty 20, so a little bit higher. And then that is going to be, so that is a total of 17 points of force damage there.
Sweet.
But then as Silas has done this, you see that again, just light is flaring everywhere, greenish gold light, and he is going to grab a large rock from the side of this chasm, and he is going to move his hand over, and you see the large part just swing with it, and is hurling that boulder at that goal.
Amazing. Make a ranged attack.
Yeah. So that is going to be, let's see. Oh gosh, 23.
23 hit, absolutely.
So that is going to do 32 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right. Boom! As it hits, and it's good you picked this one because nobody's on this one yet, because it splatters lava as you hit it with this attack, as it just fire kind of flies off of it in all directions.
As I see that, then I am going to telepathically through the link say, hey, this has got some of these like death throws like in Diablo, so be careful. If they get hit, they're going to splash you.
All right, that's Silas. We do have this last guy here. He's a little far from everybody, but he doesn't like what you did, Silas, and he doesn't like that you're flying. So he's going to literally pull off a chunk of his own arm and hurl it at you like a lava snowball.
I mean, he's got to lose hit points for that, right?
You just...
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
That is a, what is that? That is a, where's the dot? 6 or a 9? That's a 9. Okay, that's a 16 to hit you.
That missed.
Gonna miss. So the lava ball goes off to the side like a magma bomb, just not missing you by too much, but it really just like flies past you, splashing into the wall behind you. Excuse me. Another one of these pterodactyl creatures swoops down towards you, Silas. It is going to attempt a full-on attack. So we have a attempt to bite that's going to miss. We have 2 claws. That one's going to miss, and this is a dirty 20.
I'm going to go ahead and shield this at this
point.
So that misses.
So it attempts, flies down, just
basically as it gets to this outer shell that he has right now. It's like it's too much.
But there's a little bit, I imagine, of a smile behind that shield that you're just like, oh wow, I'm being attacked by a dinosaur.
Yeah, yes, of course.
It's pretty darn cool.
He takes mental photographs.
Yes, because you're looking up at it, it's like trying to get through that shield to you. It's like right up close. All right, Neb.
Neb is going to look up at her great-grandfather and say, oh, I guess it's time to, as Silas would say, suit up. And as a bonus action, she's going to once again take on that nebulous form and reach in and grab her stone and say, I've learned some new tricks with this thing. And it's at this moment that I think that's when the banging of Ivy happens, because as I sling the rock out like an arrow, I've rolled a natural one, completely missed.
It misses, and I know it will come back to you, but it's like that one moment where like it's just lost in lava somewhere for a moment, that little fear that it is gone until the warmth of it.
Yeah. And she's gonna hold on to it and say, okay, I think I'm gonna need a little bit of help. Max! And she's gonna yell out the door behind her, and from the doorway, you all hear a growl. You hear a very, very deep, huge growl. And what comes around the corner is Max, the wolf. But he's large, and he looks like the most fearsome winter wolf, literally towering over everybody as he comes stalking up, stops next to Neb, and then stops growling for a moment to like go and lick her on the side of the nebulous face. And because he's a large creature, his whole tongue just like, okay, all right. Oh, you're cold. Lava creatures? Could you help with that? And because Max has leveled up, he has a couple of extra abilities. The first thing is that because he's a big giant winter wolf, he's going to be doing some cold damage. And also because Neb knew what we were going to be facing, he looks at her and they kind of make eye contact, and something passes between them, and now both of them are a little more ready to take fire damage.
Okay.
And then, because Max goes right after me, Max is going to jump, and for a moment, he jumps into the air. And if you've ever seen any anime, he starts to fly, but he's doing the thing in where he jumps and like lands on nothing and lands on nothing and lands on nothing. And so he's going to run through the air to the golem that attacked Silas.
Okay.
Not being in the lava, but he's going to go after him. Although I'd like to say, are two of the golems within 30 feet of each other?
Sure.
Okay. So the first thing Max is going to do is that growl gets deeper and lower, and he opens his mouth, and in a 30-foot cone, just this breath comes out in just mist. And I need both of the golems that I'm going to be able to get to make dexterity saving throws, DC 17.
They both fail.
Excellent. They're both going to take 6 cold damage.
Sweet.
And then as that happens, Max then rears back and is going to claw at this one twice. Does a 19 hit?
A 19 does hit.
All right, that's 11 piercing damage.
Okay.
Does a 14 hit?
A 14 does hit.
Oh, okay. It's also 11 piercing damage.
Okay.
That's amazing. And Max is going to stay there and look real menacing and all frosty. And then Neb is like made eye contact, is super proud of Max, and looking at Dr. Craig is like, listen, sometimes it's just better to like support the people who can actually like hit things and everything. And it's almost as though Dr. Craig understands immediately.
Yes.
As he is going to mime patting her on the shoulder, like, yeah, I know you got this. And she's gonna feel a little bolstered by that. As he's gonna give her make Constitution saving throws with advantage.
Fantastic.
Because she's gotta concentrate on Max being here. And I think that's everything. I will continue to take care of all 3 of them at once.
Fantastic. So A couple of things that you notice here. All of these creatures, especially the ones that got hit with the cold damage, now that hurt. You could see the of it, and they kind of creaky, rocky sound when they got hit. But they also harden, and other parts of them harden up a little bit more. And you can see that they look a little heavier and a little tougher now that they've been out of the lava a little bit longer. The next thing you notice is almost like a bomb went off just outside as the drawbridge and portcullis shatter. Ivy, one long finger of ice, comes aside, her fingers pressing it. She is enormous, at least 25 feet tall, as she pulls herself through that bridge, barely fitting, have to, turn her shoulders and her enormous head to pull herself through into the courtyard here and look at this large door ahead of her as she begins to stalk her way forward. All right. We have another crazy gargoyle creature, but he's just going to hang out where he is because nobody's over there. So Maeve, you are up.
All right. I look at Will and I say, "You thought that was fun. Watch this." And I'm going to pull out my my letter opener. And I am going to take an attack on my fun friend who is hanging out with me. And it is a 26 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. And then my damage is 35, and it is wreathed in that thunderous energy.
Okay.
And then I am going to move away. It cannot take opportunity attacks on me because I've engaged it in single combat. And I'm going to go near the door. I'm going to take my arm and whip it out, and the grapevine shoots across as a tripwire for Ivy.
Okay. Okay. Anything else, Maeve?
Nope. I have done all of my things that I can.
Fantastic. Fairuza, you're up.
Okay.
I lied. I have. I get an extra D. Never mind. No, I don't.
Nope. Okay. Fairuza, you're up.
Okay, Fairuza is still like, I can't believe someone just punched me across the audacity to punch me across the face. So her head goes like this, and she steals her jaw, and so she's able to like absorb some of it because she does have little resistance to it. Not because she's from Maine, but just because she's big and strong.
Yeah.
But she's gonna like turn back and go, "Who punched me?" So whoever it
It's
was,
I did.
bring it. And she's gonna put her hand up just like this. And as she does this, you know when they do computer mapping, it looks almost like a digital version that they put. She does this with her hand, and something like a computerized version of her hand comes off her hand, and Miss Priscilla's standing behind her. She goes, "Oh no!" Like this, like this. And the hand is like this, like floating above it. And then both fists do this. And I'm talking Fairuza just punches her hand forward. And whichever one punched her across the face, there's a big hand coming forward.
Go ahead and roll your attacks.
Let's see, hold on. Let me do this. This is 28. Okay, I have to roll my melee. That sounds, oh boy. Oh, come on. Oh, it's only an 11. Oh, no, wait. 11. Wait. 14.
A 14 to hit?
Yeah.
Misses now.
Man.
Tougher.
Oh,
So
no,
you hit it, but
That's
you're
right.
unable to make any kind of dent. It's not hard enough. It just sort of,
Okay.
your fist just bounces off of its face where now stone is instead of, or rock instead of lava. Is that one attack you want? Is there more attack?
Yeah, she's going to go.
Go for it.
Like, it shocks her, but then she's like, so she's going to stalk him again.
Go for it. Sock him again.
Oh, 26.
That'll hit.
Okay, let's see. Now it's going to be 40. Okay, hold on. Let me go over to my other screen. Where am I? Oh, yeah, 48. Okay. I got to learn these things in advance. 21. 23 damage.
23. Okay. All right. So the one boom, just kind of pauses. It just sort of looks at you like, "Is that all you got?" And then your other hand comes up, and before it can realize you've got it on the side, and again, it just head sort of jerks all the way around, and then it very slowly sort of brings it back. But you can see you chipped off a couple of pieces, exposing the lava underneath again. Anything else, Fairuza?
Yeah, right as Fairuza does that, she's like, oh, she's so happy it made contact. A lightning bolt zips right by Fairuza's hair, cutting like a piece of her hair off from Miss Priscilla, who shoots right at it. And let me get the damage for that one. That will be, well, actually, if it hits, 24.
Yeah, it'll hit.
And that's going to be 7, 9, 10 damage.
10 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. So it takes that one hit and then past your face, cutting off your hair into the shoulder. Again, you see that sort of harden it up a little bit, where the electricity kind of knits everything back together. Anything else, Fairuza?
Just bonus damage. Well, it was bonus damage. Bonus action. She turns to Miss Priscilla, and she's like, Miss Priscilla goes like this, and Priscilla's like, rah! And she begins to flex out. So now she's enraged, so now we can enter into the games. Yeah,
love it. All right, it is Maeve's golem's turn. She moved back. I think it's gonna. How far'd you go?
I moved maybe
all the way to the door.
Yeah, to the door. So I have up to 35 feet.
You've up to 35. I'm gonna say it can't quite reach you. So it's gonna throw a lava ball.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty good. 23?
That will hit.
All right, that is 15 bludgeoning and 5 fire.
That will take out one of my duplicates. So I have one left.
Up in flames. All right, that guy's fine there. Julian sees what you're doing, spreading this vine across the way, and kind of nods, getting where you're coming from. So he sort of steps in front of it and tries to get her attention. He raises his arms above his head and he says, Ivy, I know I made a mistake, but please, we have to reason with one another. And he's going to make a persuasion.
And as he does, because Neb is very, very close, Neb is going to shout out to him and shout out to the both of them and be like, you still love each other. And he can, and that's going to be my cosmic omen. He can add a D6 to whatever he's rolling.
He can add a D6 to that. Can he save it for later?
No, because I have to basically have that happen before the roll happens.
He crit. So we're just going to say, with the crit and the encouragement and all of this, she stops. She's just about to kind of push her way through that door, and she stops and locks eyes with him, almost like she didn't realize he was there. She is completely oblivious to this tripwire line that you have set, Maeve. She is locked eyes on him. That is going to be Julian's turn. Next golem guy. This is the one that is fighting Fairuza. So Fairuza, you are right there in it with you. You guys are just punching each other. It's Rocky and Apollo, and you're just going for it here. Two of these coming at you here. Oh boy, I am not rolling great. Let me see. That's going to be, well, that one might do it. That's going to be a dirty 20 and a 23.
Okay, the dirty 20 doesn't hit, but the 23, because the shield with its inappropriate facial expression is going to pop up. But the other one, the second one does
hit. All right, 17 bludgeoning damage from the stone fist. Again, this one, I think is a belly blow right into the gut. And you're 10 feet practically. It's 10 feet. Like, you are just mano a mano. It gets you to the gut. You double over forward. You're breathing in the fumes. And then the other one tries to come around the side, but you duck in time, and it just swoops over the top of your head, missing you. That's right. All right, Robin.
Robin is going to scooch up kind of behind Fairuza, maybe where she can kind of get some cover. But,
She's large. She can provide cover now.
Yeah.
and then she's gonna
Just
kind
a
of
little turtle in a volcano.
she's gonna kind of
Oh my.
peek around, like probably like the thigh of like Fairuza,
Yeah.
and look at the creature that
man.
she's fighting, and just be like, I am gonna take one from the book of Silas Sorrel, and mind whip. So it needs to make an intelligence saving throw.
An intelligence saving throw.
It should be good at that.
Yay.
That's a crit.
Oh,
I'm really bad on my attacks, but I'm really bad on
no,
these
no,
saving.
silvery barbs.
Silvery barbs.
Yay!
Ow! You know how dumb my golems are. Yep. Okay, that's a 4.
All right.
It would have been fine if it wasn't for you meddling grandmother.
Yes.
So it's going to take. Ooh, I rolled well. 11 points of cold damage.
Oh.
And it is also going to take a 1d8 from my heralds because I am within 10 feet of it. So it's going to take. Please roll well. 4 more points.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's
I'll take
actually
it.
cold. That's cold damage as well.
That's cold damage too.
Okay.
Fantastic. So again, yeah, as you kind of peek around, you know, and send this out, and then it, you know, it just sort of little pieces wherever it hit just start to harden up into stone again, covering, patching in more of the places that were lava. Is still standing. Anything else, Robin?
Harold would like to go.
Harold would love it if Harold would go.
Okay. Harold is going to. I've never used this before, but no. Okay. Can you give me a picture of where each of these creatures are?
Absolutely. So, closer to the lava pool, about 30 feet in from there, are the golem that's in combat with Fairuza. Then off to the side is the golem that was in combat with Silas, but they're more sort of ranged, combating each other over there. Then closer to the door, where Maeve is, behind you in a way, is where Maeve and her golem are.
And Max is next to the one that Silas was attacking.
Right, and I think Neb, you're attacking Silas's as well, right?
Yeah, but I am way
No, no.
back. Yeah,
How
I'm way
many-
close to the door.
Yes.
How many pterodactyls are there?
You have seen 3 kind of animate for a little bit and try to, but only like the 2 have attacked. They seem to be sort of biding their time or waiting for something.
Okay. Harold is going to look up, seeing that, and suddenly a hypnotic pattern begins to like form above everyone, facing towards the pterodactyls.
Yeah.
So they each need to make a wisdom saving throw.
What does Harold's hypnotic pattern look like?
It is like old-fashioned TV static.
I love it. They both.
Oh
rolled
wait, it's
13s.
channel 3, not channel 4.
Yeah.
They both were 13s. I assume those are misses.
That is correct. So
All right.
they are going to be charmed, and while they are charmed, they're also incapacitated and have a speed of 0.
Okay.
So basically, Harold is just trying to keep them up there.
Okay.
And all that.
Fantastic. So you got those guys. They're just sort of, kind of look at that. These pterodactyl creatures are just kind of, in fact, a couple of them might like swoop down past it and kind of go next to it. They don't want to touch it or go into it. They're just like, oh, what is it? They're a little high. Fantastic. That is their turn. Silas, your turn.
Silas is going to glance back and trying to telekinetically grab the largest piece of flash frozen portcullis that I can.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if extra cold damage here, but I'm going to telekinetically grab it and sling it like a spear at the one that I'm engaged with.
Fantastic. Go ahead and make your attack.
Oh, that is 20 on the die. 20 on the die. 20 on the die. 20 on the
Look
die.
at, we got like 4 of them.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll this before I figure out what I'm doing with pops real quick. So that is, yeah, this is double. Yeah, okay. That is 64 points of damage. And that's before any cold that you may or may not give me.
Hold the phone. Let me do a little math.
Do you want to give me some cold damage on that? Like,
I do want to give you some cold damage on that.
okay, do I roll like an extra die? Or?
Yeah, let's do an extra D10.
Okay.
Let's give you a chance.
And that's 10 more.
Ooh. Famous last word. All right, it's still up.
74 damage. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, 74.
It's still up.
Okay.
So this thing, and as it goes by, I'll even allow this. Ivy sees this attack with this icy like spear that you sent through, and there's even a little thing of like, oh yeah, nicely done. You know, that's right down her alley. She's very impressed with this move.
Good. Maybe that'll help us later.
It bashes into him. There's less lava now to splatter. Now it's just like rock and stone. He falls to his knees. One of his arms has just come off as he's sort of dragging himself there. Even now, though he's only, like 7 feet tall instead of 10 feet tall, he's still up and kicking.
So believe it or not, that was my bonus action.
I don't believe it.
So
if you say so.
I'm using Big B's hand. So basically, with that, I am going to then attack with. I technically use a real spell because that wasn't a cast. Let me go ahead and do that. So I'm going to do the pops thing first. So pops again, I'm like basically pulling popses as energy into me. Hold on tight one more time, pops, and then I'm going to shoot that out there. And one of those was only a 12.
When in doubt, shoot your grandfather.
Yeah,
as a
shoot your
weapon.
grandfather as a
Use your grandfather as a weapon.
missile. And so the second one was a 20, dirty 20.
That'll hit, yeah.
And so that does 9 points of force damage.
Okay.
And then with my action, I'm going to go ahead and.
Before we jump to your action, just so you don't waste anything.
Yeah.
As you send pops forward, he hits it, and it's almost like the Death Star, right? Like it takes a minute as it settles, and then the entire golem just breaks apart into pieces, flying across the space. Some of them landing in the lava, some of them flying out the top. Other pieces land next to each of you. Not enough for damage or anything, but just a whole rain shower of golem.
Max looks up at you, Silas, and you swear you hear him through like the panting of the good happy dog kind of thing. Be like, nice. Because Max can actually kind of speak now.
Hey,
oh wow! Okay, excellent.
All right, Silas, your action now, please.
So my action, I am going to. So I feel like Television Static has got the pterodactyls kind of occupied at least. So I guess I'm going to just with my action this time. Then I am going to. I don't know what's about to happen with Ivy. I don't like it. But anyway, okay. So I'm going to just fire off some, again, you see the shell that I have on right now, kind of lob 2 more, telekinetic missiles over at the one that is
with Fairuza.
And so one of those was an 18. Did that hit?
That will hit. Yep.
Okay. And then the other one was a 19.
That'll also hit.
So that is 17 points of force damage.
Okay, still standing.
Good, I didn't want to take the kill away from her.
There you go. So after, Fairuza's ducking and weaving and punching, and then as it sort of stands up, trying to get in getting ready for its next hit, this, hit, as it kind of takes it and stumbles back a little bit, Fairuza, right in front of you. Is that all, Silas?
I am going to move now.
Okay.
Pretty much where that other one, like closer to where that other one was, the 30 feet toward the throne.
Yes. So you're starting to move in that direction. You can see that between here and the throne, there's a good, like, again, 30 feet of lava pool before you even get to that particular spot.
I'm going to try to hover. I'm going to try to like find a place that if I get knocked out of the sky, I'm not going to fall directly.
Okay. So you're staying over on top of the rock for now, right at the basically the shoreline of that lake. Okay, great. All right. Holding there, Neb.
Neb kind of winks over at Max and gives a little head tilt towards the one that Fairuza is engaged with. And so as Max is going to head in that direction, she's going to also sling her rock out at the one that's attacking Fairuza. Does a 16 hit?
It does.
It's going to take 7 radiant damage.
Okay.
And then I want to look back towards Ivy and Julian.
Yes.
And I'm going to, to Ivy, I'm going to say, we found him and he was trapped over in one of the other lands, and you need to talk to him. You need to just talk with him, please.
Give me a persuasion check, please.
Okay. May I help with this in any way?
How would you help?
I mean, I'm certainly trying to get Julian in a position to have these conversations.
Right.
And
but you're trying to help Neb.
But I want to help Neb.
Yeah.
I mean, all of my attention is now shifting to Ivy pretty much for this. And Neb, sorry, thinking. I don't know.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I want to support, and I'm trying to figure out how I do that.
Yeah. It might not be possible.
You know what? What I want to do? I want to throw Neb the pocket watch.
Okay. Fantastic. So you throw it across. We're going to say you are nice and dexterous. That's no big deal. Neb, at your feet lands this pocket watch. That has significance to these rulers. And so, would you like to sort of adjust your persuasion technique to incorporate that? We can give you advantage on it.
And I'm willing to use my entire action for this because the archer thing was a bonus action. So I'll say that to Ivy and then hear the clink, 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 reach down, give a quick thanks to Maeve, and then walk up to Julian holding out the pocket watch saying, This is your moment that you've been waiting for. You've got this. As I rolled a natural 20 for a 29.
Okay. Fantastic. As you say that, and you're focusing, you're talking to Julian, you're talking to her, you're trying to just get them to have a conversation, and you pass him this watch, this pocket watch, standing there next to him, sort of vulnerable, right there in front of this gigantic ice queen, this snow queen. Something about that vulnerability, that bargain for peace. You look at her eyes and you see the Ivy from the mirror, just in her eyes. Nothing about her physicality changes, but there's just that little sort of glint of a memory of what it was to be human for a while. All right, that is Neb's turn. Anything else?
That will be the end of my turn. Max is going to go. Max runs.
Yes, Max and Dr. Craig.
Max and Dr. Craig are going to go. I get to control lots of things.
Yes, you do.
Max is going to run over to the one with Fairuza and get into a really good position to help her out. Does a 12 hit?
A 12 will not hit, no.
Okay, but a 25 hits?
A 25 will hit, yes.
Okay, it's 13 piercing damage.
13, okay.
And then is there any way, Max can fly, he's got 60 feet of flying. Can he get into any kind of...
flying wolf?
He's a flying... Yes, he's a flying wolf. When
did you all grow up? You all grew up at some point, I don't know.
It's weird. If you look, while he's like jumping through the air flying, if you look under his belly, it's almost as though under the fur there's dragon scales, and you don't quite know why.
You all. Oh my
this
God.
is the wolf skin on the
It is.
Exactly. Can he get into any kind of position to breathe on this thing without hitting any of his friends?
So Fairuza's right there.
Yeah.
And actually so is Robin, right? Robin's right behind her. So
It could
You
fly
could.
like 30 feet away, just
Yeah,
where the
it could.
fringes of it get, right?
yeah, it would have to fly he would have to fly away. You'd have to get
Okay.
pretty far to make it work. And so yeah, so you just that would be the compromise, is that you'd have to let him go 30 feet away.
I'm totally he's
Comfortable?
totally okay with that. Like I said, he can
fantastic.
fly all over the place. He's got to make so the golem needs to make a dexterity saving throw, DC 17.
17 dex saving throw. Ooh, that is a 19.
Okay, he's only going to take 2 cold damage.
2 cold damage. Okay.
Okay.
Anything
And
else?
that's the end of Max and Dr.
Before Dr. Craig goes, however,
Yeah.
as soon as Max starts flying in the air, the 2 gargoyles that Robin didn't know about fly down out of the air
All right.
to attack him. All right, they're gonna do a 17 and a 10 to hit.
Neither hit.
Neither hit. They're gonna miss. All right, fantastic.
Yes.
Wait, 17 doesn't hit him. All right.
Nope. Anything that I can't do,
Magical
Max
roll.
can do. That's what Max does.
Wild, Max. All right, go ahead, Dr. Craig.
It was also my 5th level spell, so that was
Yeah.
my big one. Dr. Craig, at the moment, he's not going to do anything, but he's going to help keep an eye on Julian just in case Ivy changes her mind and attacks him.
Okay.
He's going to keep an eye out to try to make sure that doesn't hurt as much.
Okay.
And that'll be the end of his turn.
All right, that is also the end of the round. In this moment, those of you, the 2 golems that are left, harden up completely. They are now rock, solid rock standing in front of you, even more difficult to fight. Ivy. She's stalled for a moment at the front of this entrance here, not crossing over, not seeing, the trap that Maeve has set. As she looks into Julian's eyes, remembering just briefly for a minute the love that they shared on Éarte, she looks to him, says, "You locked me away. Like the spawn of Éarte, you are greedy, you are selfish. Why should I trust you?" she says. Maeve, it is your turn.
I would like to, instead of using the words, "Would you like to dance?" I would rather say to Ivy, "I want you to listen. I want you to watch. And I'm going to... May I leave the tripwire up and move away from it? Or do I need to stay connected to it?"
Seems like you would need to stay connected to it the way that you're...
Okay, then
Is
I
that how
will
that would
try.
work?
Yeah. Then I'm gonna do this, trying to just distract away from
Yeah.
it. I would like to transform myself again into Ivy, and I want to do this in full sight of her.
Gotcha.
So there's no trickery.
Gotcha.
And I want to say to her in her voice, and I don't. I'm going to try my best to mimic her voice, and I apologize. I just totally screwed up. I want you to see how he looked at you. Look in his eyes. And so I need an insight versus my
This is this one.
roll, which is a natural 20. I have a 33.
Hold on. I might roll a natural 20 as well. And it's not... Is it a spell?
No, it's not magical at all. It's completely based on my charisma.
Okay. Well,
I'm
actually,
just that charming.
I might actually... I'm pretty good here. Okay, hold on.
I mean, a skill check at 20 is an automatic success, but
No,
my
it
gosh,
isn't.
that's hugely high.
So I rolled a 25 for your 30 crit.
33.
Sorry, your 33 crit. And you look like her.
I look like her. And I can even throw performance on there if you want me to throw something else on there.
I think that's okay.
Okay.
These are some pretty great roles. I want you to listen to him. The eyes that had looked sort of transform back into that sort of human eye that you remembered. Now she sort of pulls her lips together as if holding back some emotion. These very stern, tight lips that you had gotten used to, an unflappable ruler who could not be touched, just sort of slacken as she holds something back. You can see that you are beginning to pierce through this icy exterior, bit by bit. Each of these advances in persuasion beginning to knock down a little bit more of this defense, this armor that she wears. Anything else, Maeve?
So if she is not hostile towards us, yeah, she's now friendly towards us.
She is still hostile.
Okay.
We don't have quite enough saves yet for that to work.
Okay.
6 but she has to stay focused on you if she's attacking, right?
Yes, she has to stay focused on me. She has disadvantage on attacks on anybody else.
Anyone else?
And then I would like to, as my bonus action, I will dodge.
Good, because there's a stone golem behind you.
There's a stone golem who's angry.
About
And
10 feet away.
I will. I know Will has his own gear with him, but I also am going to throw him a med kit from my pack.
Okay.
To add to whatever supplies he has and say, I need you to keep an eye if anyone needs help.
Okay. Anything else?
So I can't move because of what's going on. That's my action. That's my bonus. Yeah, I'm gonna stand there and hope Julian keeps reacting.
Julian, Maeve, Neb, Ivy out here just peering in, her face basically almost the size of this door frame. She could fit through, but she's, just taking it up with her, the glow off of her, the fire flickering off of her face. And she is locked in with the three of you. All right, Fairuza.
Oh my god. Okay, so I'm like
stone thing is still in front of you. This pesky guardian.
She's already in a combat. So even though she, I guess, can hear what's going on behind her, not really. She's more focusing on what's right in front of her.
Yeah.
So she's been punched in the face a few times. She's fully pissed off. The axe is coming out. And it's coming out. And she's gonna swing it twice at dude.
Get the dude.
Twice.
He's tougher now.
Ooh, okay. You know what? There's 15, but if that isn't enough to hit, I have advantage.
Not
so I
enough.
can roll again. Not enough? That would be a 1, so that's not going to work. Let's do it.
Not enough.
Dang, man, this will be hit something or 26.
26 will hit. So again, you do one, jab that before would have been money, would have done it, sunk it, but you go, oh my God, this thing is tougher now. So now you give a little more juice behind it and come back again with the second cut.
This thing is very strong and it's very distracting because for whatever reason, I only rolled 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage.
10 damage, okay.
What is happening?
Hey, you're going there.
Yeah.
And then else, another. Oh, you did your 2 then.
That was my 2, but
Here's your 2.
Priscilla's behind
Go
me.
for it, Priscilla.
She has her own. She has this giant great sword. And and it looks literally when she wields it, it looks like a lightning bolt. So we're gonna do that for her.
Nice.
C plus. Ooh. Love it. She has. Oh, forget it. That's a crit. Oh my God, 34.
So 34.
Whoa.
This tough battle, and it's like crit, 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 crit.
The dice heard you say it's a tough battle, and are
her
helping.
30
the dice are
slashing
saying-
damage.
That's amazing. How much?
You gave her 30 slashing damage.
She's the Storm Queen. Storm Giant. So she gets 60?
double for that?
Yeah, she gets 60. Here we go. Let's see. She might actually get this guy, even with the up.
Oh my god, it's plus
Yeah,
plus
she
14
does.
to hit.
So you do 1 hit, 2 hit, stones splattering everywhere, and then from behind, reaching, spinning around behind you. So she's behind on the other side, behind the stone golem, and you're on the other, locked eyes, sister to sister. Up through, you see the blade come through its chest on the other side, stopping just inches below your chin, as the thing just sort of quivers for a moment on the blade and slumps. And she is so strong, she doesn't even lose. She just sort of throws it off to the side, pulling her blade out of the rock as she does. As you take
This is
it.
like, I'm just gonna
down.
stay over here. I'll stand right over here.
Okay, so we have the last remaining guy here. He's really strong and tough. He's standing right there by Maeve and Neb and Julian. And a ruler.
Oh boy.
Hmm.
Oh boy.
He runs forward. He will take op attacks from Maeve and Neb as he attempts to slam twice into Ivy. He's also going to run past that tripwire, Maeve. So don't
He's going to
you worry.
have disadvantage on it as well because he's
Yes,
not
he will.
attacking me.
Gotcha.
So-
No, you moved it to her, didn't you? Or can you
I
do
can
it
have
to
it on
multiple?
multiple people.
You're kidding me. Oh my
No,
god! I
it's
thought,
a-
oh great, he's free. He's
No,
not. Okay,
he's-
never
he's
mind. He's
not.
still going to do this.
So
So yeah, go ahead and give me op attacks, Maeve and Neb. You don't have to if you don't want to.
25 to hit.
Yep, go ahead.
So
Op attacks take your reaction.
They do.
I am not, because Neb is going to do something else with her reaction that is going to be way more useful than
You got it.
the slap from her hand.
What is your damage?
I'm because I can get. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, I'm just getting what I can do on this because I can get some extra goodies on this. Oh, and he's this too. Okay. Am I forgetting anything? No. Okay. So that's 3, 4, 5. 6. I rolled all 1s and 2s in the 3. 6 plus 13.
Okay. As he runs past Neb, you sort of step aside, making a fast decision about what to do. Julian is locked in with Ivy. Maeve, you give it a good swipe as it goes by, but it barely slows him down as he barrels forward, missing the tripwire. He tumbles forward missing it, meaning not knowing it was there. He falls, trips on it, tumbles forward, onto the ground, lying beneath Ivy, who is shaken out of this attention, looks down at it. And again, I know she's with you, so disadvantaged from her as a reaction, although it won't be. How much does he have left? Oh boy. That finger that you saw elongates again. She raises it above her head and starts to bring it down. She's at disadvantage, but that is still plenty. It slides down into his body, the cold just freezing him outward from the inside. He's going to make a con saving throw from that. And that is not going to be enough for her as you watch his entire body go rigid, not just from the stone, but from frozen, frosted over cold as he just stops there. You can still see him quiver with energy and life as she sort of holds him pinned under that icicle nail and looks back up at the rest of you. It is now Julian's turn. As these sort of tears that do not drop but fill in her beginning to be human eyes, he looks to her and he says, "You are right. I did an unforgivable thing. I was scared of losing you, of losing control, of losing Éarte. You were my true north. I didn't know who I was until I found you, and when you started to drift, I lost myself. We need each other to be our best selves. I know that now." He's going to make a persuasion check. He's going to do it with advantage because of all of your wonderfulness. Okay. A single tear drops out of her eyes, streaming down the side of her cheek. With all of the creatures taken care of, we are briefly out of initiative. He says to her, "I've done everything to bring you back safely. Talron is gone. Don't repeat his mistakes. Would anyone like to help him?
Yes.
How would you like to help?"
Persuasion is my jam, so
Okay, great.
that's where I'm living.
How what do you want? Do you want to add a compelling point, or you still look like her? Yes.
I look like her still, yeah. And his case that he's making is that he said that Talron is gone, and what is he trying to get across to her at this moment?
I mean, he's trying to say, don't make Talron's mistakes. Don't try to take over. Try to rule and balance. Remember your humanity. Is the argument that he is making.
If this is a pylon, Silas is also going to be.
What do you want to add, Silas?
Maeve, you can go first if you'd like to.
If you've
I just
got
wanted
something.
to make sure that we didn't move.
Yeah.
Move past Silas trying to help us.
I want to take out the letters, or the letter I have.
Yeah.
Between them, the envelope from their travels, the journal, the things that we have from the train that were evidence of their love, of their relationship, of their time together.
So Maeve, you pull out your bag, you start pulling out all of these things, this evidence of who they were together. Neb, Fairuza, anyone, anything you want to add into this moment, pile on to help convince her. Go ahead and let me know.
Silas is going to message Ivy at this point and just simply say that when you were trapped and helpless, we were the ones that helped you. And we are the ones that freed you. We have proven our valor, our worth, and what we're made of. And one of us should sit on that throne to ensure the balance is kept. And then basically, as Silas is telepathically messaging that to her, he is literally just kind of like shining a light, Miss Robin. And I'm just letting you know my intention is that whenever I have the moment after this check or whatever, I'm basically saying to Miss Robin, "You ready to ascend?" And I'm going to get her up there.
Okay.
Very quickly.
Maeve, make a persuasion check with this outpouring of things and looking like her and trying to kind of conjure up this memory.
And the way that I am going to help with this is that I've stepped out of the way so that Maeve can do the talking.
Gotcha.
And under Neb's breath, she's actually going to recast the ice shield that she had from before, which shimmers over her, and very intentionally, like before, it kind of mirrors the way that Ivy looks now, like the epicness, but just in a very, very small way. And she's gonna say, "You two being together with you free is the happiest ending that I could think of, and not any more war." And I'll use my reaction to give Maeve my final wheel of a d6.
All right. Add a d6 to your persuasion, Maeve.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So Maeve still has one mirror image up, which it looks like Ivy looking in the mirror at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking into her own eyes, recognizing herself in herself. So I was at a 32 before the wheel. I am at a 37 with it.
Silas, what was your persuasion?
Oh, do I have
Oh,
persuasion?
yeah,
or
you
just
roll your
charisma?
no, you're going to do your persuasion as well. Any of you who make a thing, we're piling them on. There's a tally going here.
Oh, nice. Silas also. Silas got a 29.
Okay.
Nice.
No, I'm sorry, 28. 28. Bad math.
Ouch. So Maeve,
Good math, but
strong math. You lay out all these things at your feet. You look like her looking up in a mirror image with Neb's glassy, icy, addition to this, adding more sort of epic, destiny feel to this. Silas, remind me, you're making this plea for love, for the right person to sit here, and you can see every little crack of this logic beginning to kind of
very much telling her she owes us one.
Yeah, that kind of work through it. Well, are you intimidating then?
No.
No,
Just,
you're
just like,
persuading.
hey, I'm just saying, like, hey, like we did you a massive solid, you would still be stuck in a mirror.
She summons up one last sort of effort to get back that defiance that she's slowly losing. She says, "You children of Éarte, you are flawed. What makes you think you can do better than I? I am a strong leader." Julian,
because we know we're flawed.
Yeah. And you know what? Fairuza's going to step from the back. Because she originally was going to say, I have an axe named Persuasion, but that's another story. She decided to say, because she realized something within all of this, the reason why we're good for this part, the reason why we would make a better ruler is because of our humanity. We're not just strength. We're strength plus compassion, plus love, plus understanding, plus flaws. And that's what makes us stronger. Do you want to test it?
make a persuasion check.
Jeez. That's not my strong point. We'll see. Well,
You can do intimidation if you prefer, but
yeah, let's go with that because
want to do intimidation?
Oh yeah, do you want to do a nation? Skill checks. Well, skill check I have it, but so I can do a 16.
A 16?
With a bonus, yeah.
Okay. That kind of grabs her attention. She likes it a little because it reminds her of that, again, that like ruler, defiant part of her kind of steals up a little bit. But it doesn't get rid of the other. It just acknowledges the dualness. And she looks down at Julian. She says, "So you are nominating this one." She points to Rob. And he says,
Well, it's pretty much the only job she hasn't done yet.
Well,
Seems only logical.
Ivy's like, what?
he looks to you and he says, "I have not met a more fair person in all of my travels." And they are right. We children of Éarte, we are far from perfect. We fail spectacularly. But there is one thing that we never forget. And young Fairuza has hit it on the head. We always remember how to love. And because of that, we can change, we can correct. And I know that there is enough of Éarte left in you to understand that. He's going to give one more advantage. She doesn't shrink, but something about her relaxes. She still looks like a powerful god, but you can feel the anger and the aggression melt out of her. She reaches a hand forward, pulls the stabby fingernail out of the golem at her feet and sort of flicks it aside and reaches a hand out to Julian. He steps forward and places his hand on hers. He says, "Let's go back to Tyver, my love." And as he turns back to you, he looks at you, young Neb, sort of says, I know your great-grandfather there quite well. He's a great collector of stories and a great traveler. I think you are too. If you're ever interested in becoming a scribe, you'll know where to find me. And he and Ivy turn and begin to walk away.
Neb doesn't respond, but you can very clearly see like a little bit of delight, but also the wheels turning.
The throne lies up.
Miss Robin, can I Simba you?
Robin's going to take one look at Harold, releasing all the other heralds around her, just so she can see the one herald. And kind of waiting for him to say it's okay.
You see all of the sort of, it's his form and his shape, but you see it again in these flutters and shifts. It all kind of stops for a moment, and you see Harold exactly as he was in that last moment. The last good, strong, healthy moment that you saw him. And he comes up to you, and although he can't touch you, he places his hands on either side of your face, and you can feel the memory of that touch. He places a kiss upon your forehead, and he says, "Whither you go, go I."
And Robin will turn to Silas, kind of just giving a nod, and she'll say to him, "Oh, to rule. That will be a great adventure."
Yeah.
And Silas is going to scoop Miss Robin up, kind of side saddle, like just kind of hold her sideways, and fly up with her because the throne is up, right?
It is. It's up. It's floating.
So he's floating up, and then at this time he starts flying backwards and just putting her forward, and he's like, "The circle of light," and he's like, no, this is way more serious than that. And then at the last moment, he actually does not take her all the way physically, like he's going to grab her telekinetically and then fly away, where like she's the only one up there, and is going to gently place her up on the platform, not on the throne, but on the platform where she can choose to do whatever she wants to do.
So you are standing next to this bed of coals. It is quite warm. It looks like the rocks on like a black sand beach that maybe some of your ancestors might have known one time in their day. It oddly does not feel out of place. In fact, there's a strange sense of coming home for you as you look at your destiny, perhaps.
Robin will take a seat.
You step up and sit. In that moment, everything sort of stills. The volcano no longer exploding. The battle outside seems to sort of dissipate. The sounds of that fight. Everything about you gets warm, Robin. And as the rest of you watch, not unlike that night in, the ice cave where you saw each other's sort of destiny shapes begin to form, it's as if you see Robin sort of morph in front of you. She is still Robin, but everything takes on a little bit of a darkened quality, a hardening of her shell around her. She grows at least a size up to about 10, going on 15 feet now, filling in this bed of coals. You can see even wisps of smoke. Some of these powers that you were familiar with Talron having have now kind of begun to, you sort of move your fingers and they seem to sort of disappear into mist. Everything around you now, instead of being on fire and destruction, just feels warm and light. And those of you who were to peek out the doors would see that, like any good volcanic space, once the fire is over, new life begins to grow from the ashes that have fallen as Robin takes her space.
I take that in, but like immediately I'm like, oh, Pivum and Zola. And then like literally like Silas is going to zip out of this place to even if the other two rulers don't happen to know that this is going on,
Yes.
to be like, hey, quit fighting, and like just check on everyone that he cares about outside.
You run outside and amazingly, the battlefield is empty. Everyone is gone. Julian, who is just sort of beginning to open a little portal to Tyver here with Ivy, looks to you and says, they felt the shift of balance returning, and that is all that they want at this point. I think Zola must have gotten through to Floris, and the battle is over. As he sort of steps through the door he's created and gently guides Ivy after him.
And inside, as you see this new form of Robin and kind of this smoky sense, she just looks at everyone who's still in there and she goes, now should I cast fireball?
You can cast all the fireballs you want.
Just make sure we're out of the way first.
And with that, we're going to do a little jump here. You all have found your way to restoring balance to these realms, to the world. Hopefully, slowly, with time, things will repair and the rulers can work together with compassion under the guidance of Miss Robin and Harold. So we're going to take a little jump and see where your characters would be in about 5 years. What's your 5-year plan here? So we're going to start with Robin, since you just took on this brand new job here to add to your list. Where is Robin and Harold in 5 years? Where are they?
Walking through the new land of proximity. It's beautiful. It's still volcanic and hot, warm, I should say. And there's, like you said, there's new life. And it almost feels like this land, while it is a land of fire, it has a balance to it. There is a warm breeze and warm water that flows, and the trees flourish. And she herself, while large now and beyond, bigger than life itself, and has this new look, she still kind of shimmers with like an iridescent glow. And there are always hummingbirds floating around her head, no matter where she goes. And of course, she still wears her hat, and she still wears her overalls, and she still wears her yellow rain boots. And
They're very helpful in the ash. Yeah.
They are.
A phoenix born.
And she's just at peace, and she has come to terms with not always trying to find the next thing. This is the thing. She has Harold in some sense with her still. This is her happy ending.
So Fairuza, right after all of this, as you and Priscilla begin to walk away, she had told you your destiny was not quite completed. As you walk away, she tells you of a place, Mayor.
Yeah, she it's the place that Fairuza had been seeing, that Miss Priscilla had been showing her in her most recent dreams, and it's a place called Mayor. And I guess right after,
where is Fairuza in 5 years?
oh, Fairuza is a storm giant, but to make things even more specific, she's a storm god giant. Like she's the one that was prophesized for her people and everything. So at the end of all of this, Priscilla's just gonna, Miss Priscilla, who is actually a wizard version, sort of, even though she's a giant, she's going to project this sort of portal. And if you were to sort of look through that portal, we would flash forward to this muscular, leather, war-torn looking Fairuza sitting astride this big, like giant tusked mammoth. And that the shield is by her side, and it's wearing this bemused expression that's extremely inappropriate, but Fairuza has given up on the shield. She just keeps it as it is, and it's just on her hip. She's sitting there and looking forward. A hill giant pulls up next to her and nods, and then points to Fairuza's glasses, like, what are those? And Fairuza like goes to take them off, but then she's like, no, I'm gonna leave them. When you pull back, you just see hundreds of Majoran giants, like all astride different large beasts. There are hill, there are stone, there are frost, there are storm, and they're all just looking forward. And if you follow their eye line, you see that the sky suddenly like shifts to like this dark, dark black. And every now and again, you see that flash in the sky. And if you could hear really well, you just hear this growling noise in the sky. And Fairuza looks at the storm giant by her and nods. He picks up a large object off the floor. And all of a sudden you hear, bong, bong,
Yes!
bong. Fairuza goes, lifts up her giant axe.
Yes.
Goes, I am jacked. And they run toward the darkness that's in the horizon. And a bespeckled storm god that Fairuza has become charges forward with her army to fight the dark ones, which was her true destiny.
Woo!
Can I have a
Is
tiny
Priscilla-
epilogue, though?
Priscilla's
Tiny
by her side.
By her side, all of her soldiers. Miss Priscilla is back where the home is, whatever. But all of her, it's like hundreds and hundreds of fighters behind her. Tiny epilogue. After all of this, Fairuza stands above a giant Roman wall made of stone, and she's sort of looking like anticipatorily. Is that a word? Anticipate or whatever. She's looking out like as if she's expecting someone, and standing next to her is this giant white condor that has yellow markings. An older storm giant that all of you would recognize walks up to her and says, "Your guests are here, Fairuza." She runs downstairs. There's a giant, like stone-like entryway. And you would see like these 4 familiar silhouettes walk forward. You see like a silhouette of a small lizard-like creature with spiked hair, a horned and hooved creature spinning something sharp in one hand, a floating creature beside them with their feet barely touching the ground and a cape flying behind them, and this large tortoise creature with the unmistakable silhouette of a crown on their head coming forward. And Fairuza just goes, you guys! And she runs toward them. That's it.
Wonderful. Neb, where are you in 5 years?
So we go from possibly the biggest being on the planet to one of the smallest, walking down a road towards a humble little town. And yeah, as Fairuza described, you wouldn't know if you had known her before who this was, except she's still wearing the rolled up jeans and the black t-shirt with the star map on it. But what is walking down the road is, a little lizard, a little blue lizard, humming to herself, a little bag over her side, just happy as can be. As she enters this town, it's very obvious that the people there know who she is. and kids are running up all happy to see her and yelling and screaming for whatever they're looking for. And she's saying hi to a whole bunch of people and eventually goes to sit down kind of in a glade nearby under a tree. And almost as if on cue, half the town has come out to sit as she pulls out a book and says, okay, all right, where were we? Oh wait, no, I finished that one. Okay, hold on. So we'll do this one. We'll do this one. Yeah. So once upon a time, there was this fierce giant named Fairuza. She was incredibly strong and as massive as her muscles were. Her brain was just as massive, and she could rip doors off their hinges, but she also knew sometimes that she needed to avoid a fight. And so that came real handy one day when she encountered this really big bird with really sharp talons. And as the story continues and we kind of fade away a little bit, the story continues in where she's now talking about Robin, the wise ruler of Praxidiki, and Maeve, the cunning person who could solve the hardest problems with a smile and a joke, and Silas, who knew how to soothe your wounds with beautiful words. And eventually the sun starts to set, and so everybody's getting tired enough that they start to disband, and Neb pulls all of her stuff back together, and Pivum comes walking up because that's where she is gone. She's gone to his home. And they share a little bit of a meal and talk over a bunch of things and catch up. And then she says, well, all right, same time in a couple weeks, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. It's good to see you again.
Oh,
It's okay if I just do this right here, right? If I go out into the town, everybody kind of looks at me weird.
oh yeah, you use right here. You got plenty of privacy right here. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And she
Safe
takes her...
travels.
Thank you. It's still kind of fun to do this, though. And she reaches out a claw, and it's like she very slowly rips into the fabric of the universe. Just slowly align with her claw, then opens up. And with a wave, she steps through the portal and is off to tell more stories.
Ciao.
You've been hanging out with Silas too much.
Silas, it is your turn. Where is Silas in 5 years?
You see Silas walk through the door. He's in the entryway of a two-story home, fairly modest, and he steps in, and you see kind of off where you don't get the perspective on it, that he just makes eye contact with someone, and then he looks up and he shakes his head, and then he, instead of taking the stairs, he floats up through the stairwell and lands up there. You see that he walks up to a door, and there's light pouring out from the bottom of the door, and he pulls out his phone and he looks at it, and it's 12:49 a.m. or something, like super late.
Tell me your home screen is the picture of 5 of you at the mountain.
Yeah, of course it is, because it was really hard recovering that, because people forgot about it right after it, and he had to track it down, and all this, but he did, and
there's no Wi-Fi in Praxidiki.
Yeah, that's it. You see everybody there, and he gently knocks on the door. Abigail, can I come in? Hear something that seems affirmative, and Silas opens the door, walks in, sees a probably late teens, teenage young woman, sitting at a desk with the light on. You really need to get some sleep. Tomorrow's a big day. She kind of objects to it a little bit. It'll be fine. Trust me, it'll be fine. We're gonna go through changes like this all the time. No. I've told you all of that 1,000 times. Don't have time for it. You need to go to bed. Like it's bedtime. Oh my gosh. I never could say no to you. Just like, all right. So I'm going to do it fast though, because we don't have time for this. So, yeah, you know about, long time ago when I was like super young, used to do some of that cat burglary. So I had a complete, corner on that market. I was one of the best. Like I was in the newspapers and everything. And then when I went to the other place that I've told you about, I stole a boat one time. And so I checked that box off. And then the one you really want to hear about, though, is yes. So when I got back from that other place and, I wanted to try to find your mother. And I was like, hey, the only way I can ever go to her is if these people in the mob were like not looking for us anymore. And then I thought to myself, hey, I've got these new, powers, right? So maybe I can use those powers. So I found out, I took a trip to Japan. I read some minds. I found out some secrets that they weren't supposed to, no one was supposed to know about. And I found out about this big shipment that was going to be flying from the US to Japan. And so I actually waited for them. Yeah, in the sky. Yeah, I waited for them in the sky. And so plane's going really, really fast. And so when the plane's coming, though, I had to go to, the star place that I've told you, like the astral. So then I like stuck into the middle of the plane. And there I was. And I took the valuables and I just completely teleported out of there again through that astral plane. And so that is what made me a land, sea, and air thief. I checked off all of the boxes, and so with that's what happened. No, I didn't immediately go see your mom after that because, well, no, I mean I found out who you were when I did finally, get the courage to tell her that we were safe. And I, detected a little bit of, anger, like she was about to slap me, but, she didn't. And we got through it. And then, there you were bebopping up with your, super, super cold teenage that I'm glad we're almost at the end. But yeah, like I didn't even mean to pick it up from you, but I knew that you were my daughter when you first walked up. Like I caught it from your mother. And so I'm just telling you, I'm really, really proud of you. Very proud of you. We've had a lot of fun these last few years, and it's time to move on with the next stage of life. And you probably need to get some sleep. And then Silas gets up and starts to walk away, and then he kind of catches and he's like, well, no, like I have no idea if you're ever going to be able to do any of this stuff. Like I have no idea. And then as he continues to walk towards the door to leave, he's about to grab the light switch, and then the light switch turns off, but it's not him doing it. And he turns around and he sees that Abigail's eye is glowing. And then he says, oh, wow. I think it's time. I think we can take a trip. And then he's going to leave the room.
And Maeve.
Maeve's epilogue is in 3 parts. The first happens shortly after the events in Praxidiki. And it is the first time she goes into her ring after the fact. Knowing that things were getting closer and closer, she decides to check her ring one more time, and she goes into the ethereal and steps into it and says, hello?
As you look up at the stars in the sky, you can see that those 2 bright stars in this moment are now perfectly aligned. And from behind you, you hear, "You're real." And as you turn around, you see someone who might as well be another you.
Hello. And the only difference between us is Maeve's necklace is the left hand, and the other Maeve's necklace is the right hand.
A mirror image.
A mirror image. The second act takes place a few months later, on a warm spring night in Atlanta, outside of a door.
Our greatest enemy.
Outside of a door.
Outside of a door. Because we thought we were done with doors. Never are we finished with doors, and no door is more intimidating to Maeve than this one. No door we have fought in the past is scarier than the one before which she stands. And she knocks on it. And she steps back. And the door opens, and Will is there. And he looks out into the night, and he sees Maeve, as she was before, standing there, holding a bouquet of flowers, with a bird of paradise in it. And she just looks at him. The third act is a few years later. It's cold. There is snow all over. It is the holidays at the Flynn family home, because no one does the holidays like the Flynns, and Maeve is putting the final touches on various gifts. Her moms are there making cocoa and cider. There are cookies and cakes and treats galore, stockings by the fire, seats and couches and comfy everything of all sizes, sweatshirts. Maeve is wearing a Harvard sweatshirt. She is seated next to Will. There is a ring on her finger. And there are several gifts set out of a few different shapes and sizes. And there is a thin spot that if you just shift just a little bit, you can sort of see it line up. And one by one, her friends enter. There is a gift for each of you.
Neb also comes bearing gifts. It's a giant platter full of pretty much every single kind of baked good you could ever think of. Like, it's almost bigger than her. And as she squeezes through and comes out, she's like, listen, I know it's way more than anybody can eat, but my folks were just insistent that if I was going anywhere, that I was going to be bringing the entire bakery, I guess.
Well, Pivum's bringing like 16 of his siblings, so it'll be fine.
I hope so,
Those
because I'm not
bandicoots-
bringing back any leftovers.
No. And Maeve hands you a big box, which you can unwrap now or later.
Neb will put down the giant platter, and then she's like 3.5 feet.
It's about as tall as you are.
Yeah, she'll push it out of the way and be like, well, everybody grab something. I'll take care of this. And then from off screen, we hear the tearing and ripping of somebody who doesn't care about opening up a box very cleanly, is just interested in as quickly as possible.
There is a telescope inside.
Oh.
Silas is going to burst through the slit, pretty
We need to start
quickly.
making bigger doors, Neb.
Thank you.
And but
I'm doing my best, but it's really hard to like reach all the way up there, you know.
as he does, he's actually like, no, sweetheart, like you just step, like it's gonna take care of the rest. And so like through this, you see, probably in her 50s at this point, beautiful shorter woman, jump through. It's like, hey, and as Silas is greeting everybody, this is Marion. I'm so glad that you could finally meet her. And he's like, no, and so he's like sticking his arm back through, and he's like, no, like you have to. And so he's like, and this is Abby. This is my daughter, Abby. Thank you so much for inviting us. We appreciate it. This is Maeve. This is Will. And he's like, trying to do all that. And the people he doesn't know their name, he actually knows their name by like just scanning their. And he's like, this is, and and he's like telling everybody who
So there's actually a present for Abby too. I'm sure there's something for Marianne as well, but I can only come up with a present for Abby.
Oh, well, I'm surprised that you did all that. So I'm very excited about this. Yeah.
Abby gets a hat, a baseball cap.
Excellent.
This one though has a little handprint on it, as if it's been caught in the wind, embroidered in.
I love it.
And for Silas, there is a box that's about yay big.
He's gonna kinetically open. Like he just doesn't even touch it. He's just spinning it, and
you can all just be your freaky selves for Christmas with the Flynn.
Well, I'm assuming everybody's just appearing in this living room or this dining room out of thin air. So like,
I love it.
Inside there's a note on the outside that says, "I think you lost this."
Oh.
And inside there is an autographed basketball.
Oh wow. And Silas is completely freaking out, and then he has to tell the story because he's making sure that Abby gets the story behind Michael Jordan and why he's so important. She's like, okay, Dad, I'm sick of hearing this, as they go off into the other room.
And you see Robin step through, and she looks like her old self. She kind of becomes her Éarte self, and she kind of just, good evening, y'all.
Yeah. All right. Well. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
And so for Robin, it's a box about this big.
And Robin will, unlike the others, take very good care. And one of her favorite things to do is she takes the bow off of the package and she sticks it on her hat.
Yes. There is on the tag. The tag is made of a patch for your bag, so you can save that piece. But inside is a case, like a bell jar kind of thing, and inside is it looks like it's made of ice, but it's glass. A bird of paradise with a hummingbird sitting on it.
Oh, beautiful.
Get your crown on, Robin.
Her hat is her crown.
Like it's a Christmas cracker crown.
Neb comes walking on up to Robin and pokes you in the side and says, were we supposed to hide what we are? Because I think it's a little too late for me.
It's just because I'm very, very big these days.
Yeah, much more politically appropriate. I agree, Robin.
Yeah, well, you know what? You might be big, but, and then like expectantly.
You see a giant bird foot step through the portal, and then I'm talking a condor steps into your bed. And Fairuza puts her head in, and she's fully 13 and a half feet, and she's like, oh, we forgot to switch. She's gonna step through it, immediately snap her fingers, and you're gonna see Frederick turns into an umbrella cockatoo, and Fairuza is 6'3", and she's like, okay, yeah, how's everybody doing? Oh, it's nice and warm in here. I'm not used to this. It's nice. How's everyone doing? I hope we made some good food. I'm hungry. So
believe me, there's plenty. And Maeve hands Fairuza a very small gift, a very small package.
And it's like really tiny. It like Fairuza's like this, and she
It's a
opens
bit
it.
of a delay. It's maybe 3 months
what?
out. And yes, Silas, I said 3.
Trey.
3.
Love it.
And inside is a business card, and on it it says Armstrong and Flynn, attorneys at law ?
And Fairuza's going to reach behind her as it's like sheathed, like it's a weapon, and she's gonna hand you a giant pair of scissors. The red ribbon awaits.
And I hug you.
As you all turn to each other and start eating and reminiscing and telling stories about the old days and telling stories about the adventures you've been on since, and Pivum and sister after sister after sister after sister begin to step through this portal as well and join you and immediately start to eat, we will pull back away from this warm living room into the snow and call that the end of Children of Éarte. I just want to say thank you so much to all of you from the bottom of my heart. This has been such an incredible journey, and I just adore every single one of you, what you have brought to this, the directions I never thought that this would go. And I hope I hope that I have made it entertaining for all of you and for everyone at home. I just appreciate this experience so much. I just wanted to say
It's
good
been
night.
an incredible experience, Deborah, and thank you so much for facilitating all of this. Absolutely epic, absolutely sweet, absolutely significant. So yeah, thank you so much for everything.
Well, thank you everyone for staying late on this last one as we wrap up these stories. We
We're
could go all
allowed.
night.
It was a beautiful fairy tale. We couldn't end without a proper ending.
Yes, exactly.
Good night, and I love you all. Remember, not only are you what you believe yourself to be, but keep telling great stories. Good night, everyone.